Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use muted strums in your strum pattern. So not palm muting, but how to use muted strums like this. So let's go ahead and dive into that right now. So with these muted strum patterns, guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do it, why this is gonna work really cool, and then I'm going to give you a bunch of strum patterns that you can practice with to develop a really good feel for this. So make sure that you stick around for the strum patterns. Now this works especially good on acoustic guitar. It's also possible to do on electric, but it sounds way better on acoustic, so that's why we're on acoustic today. Now, this will help you replace a drummer if you're playing guitar by yourself. Being able to use these muted strums in your strum patterns is going to help you give the feel that a drummer would provide while just playing guitar. So you're doing two things at once. How cool is that? And when you master getting these muted strums in different parts of the measures that you're playing, it really helps you control the feel of the song. So when it comes to doing it, there's actually two things that are happening at once. And I see a lot of people get this wrong sometimes because we do have to get two things down. First of all, there is a strum motion that is happening. And second of all, there is a slapping of the strings going on at the same time. So what we have to do is we have to get doing the strumming and the slapping at the same time. So that gives us a nice, good, solid, chunky sounding muted strum. So first, let's look at how to do the strum part. Now to do the strum part, what I want you to do is take this part of your hand, the whole like side of your palm here, the outside of your palm, or the bottom part of your palm here underneath your thumb. And what I want you to do is put that on your strings like this. And then using just your wrist, you're gonna just strum the strings. Now you can strum a few strings, you can strum all the strings, but you should be able to, using your palm, get all of that muted so that you can hear, see, with no hand here, no left hand muting, I can strum all the strings with that. And that motion with just your wrist strumming through the strings is going to be really crucial. So that's the first thing to practice, is put your hand on the strings to mute them and then strum with just your wrist. Now the second thing is getting the slap down, because what's gonna happen is when you're doing a strum pattern, your hand isn't on the guitar already, right? So doing this isn't gonna help, because then you're gonna have to strum, put your hand down, strum, right? It's gonna slow everything down. So let's get the slap part down. Essentially, all you're doing here is making a fist and just slapping your guitar. And you can slap your guitar with that same part that you were muting with earlier. So kind of this back side of your hand or underneath your thumb, that whole bottom part of your palm, use that to slap just the strings of the guitar. Now, when I slap the strings, it's easiest for me to focus on slapping with this part of my hand rather than the bottom part. Because when I'm doing it, that's really the part for me that is strumming it. So you're gonna have to play around a little bit and figure out which is gonna work better for you. But the point is when you're slapping the strings, that you're just slapping them and it stops the sound. So you strum a chord, slap it, strum a chord, slap it, strum a chord, slap it, strum a chord, slap it. Now what we need to do is we need to put our strumming motion that we did with the muted strings and our slap together, because they have to happen at the same time. Because like I said, when you're doing a strum pattern, your hand's out here away from the guitar, right? And so we have to combine doing the slap and the strum together. So what you do is you first start by practicing your muted strum with your palm on the strings, muting all the strings at the same time, and then you use your wrist for your strumming motion. And you just practice that. And then you practice taking your hand off the strings and placing them on. And at the same time that you place the strings on there, you use your wrist to do that strumming motion. And then you get gradually faster and harder with doing that. But that is essentially the motion that we need to do. And then you have to practice getting that into your different strum patterns. The easiest way to test this is by just doing what we did before. Just take a single chord and strum it once. And then at the same time that you put your hand down to mute, you use your wrist to strum the muted strings. And you do this really slow. Watch your strumming hand while you do it so that you can make sure that you're doing two things at once. You don't want to do two things back to back. You want it to be your palm is muting the strings and your wrist is strumming the strings at the same time. Not muting, then strumming, or strumming and then muting. That wouldn't make sense, right? So make sure that it's two things at the same time, not two things back to back. Hey guys, real quick, if you're enjoying this video on these muted strum patterns, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new lesson. Now let's get back to the rest of these muted strum patterns. All right, so let's dive into these strum patterns that you can do. Now, these strum patterns are gonna do two different feels for you. One, since we're replacing a drummer, most drummers are accenting beat number 2 and beat number 4 with their snare drum. So if you listen to any drum beat like this, what you're hearing on beat number 2 and beat number 4 is the snare drum, that dun, ch, dun, ch, dun, ch, right? That's your snare drum. And what we're gonna do is with these first 4 strum patterns is we're going to replace the snare drum on beat number 2 and beat number 4. So the first one is really simple. It's just our quarter notes. So you take a chord, I don't care what chord it is. I'm just gonna use G, D, E minor, C here because it's super easy and super common. And you're gonna do quarter notes. So you're just gonna strum 1, and then on 2, do your muted strum, and then strum on 3, and then muted strum. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just start out slowly with that, and then you speed it up, where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get even faster. Push yourself to go faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's the first one, accenting beat 2 and beat 4. The second one is similar. We're still accenting beat number 2 and beat number 4. But what we're gonna do is we're going to add in more eighth notes. We're gonna do an and of 2. So that means you're gonna mute on beat number 2 with a downstroke, and then you're gonna play an upstroke on the and. So that means you have to get used to doing your downstroke and then getting your pick down past the strings so that you can do an upstroke when you take your hand off the strings. And then we're gonna play down up on 3 and then mute on 4, and then an upstroke on the and of 4. So this whole strum pattern will go like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 then go a little bit faster. And then go even faster. When I'm working on stuff like this, I usually will bump my metronome up by 3 to 5 to 10, somewhere between there, beats per minute. Now, if you need to rewind and go back and practice with those, that's cool. You can even use the controls here on YouTube to slow it down even more if you want to. Now, this third strum pattern, accenting beat 2 and beat 4, is just eighth notes through the whole measure. So we're doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up the whole time. And we're just doing our muted strum on beat 2 and on beat 4 still. So that will give you this. 1, 2, 4. And then a little bit faster. And then even faster. Push yourself to do these faster ones, okay? Now the fourth one, the last one, accenting beat 2 and beat 4, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this really, really popular strum pattern that goes 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. So we're tying our and of 2 to the and of 3, and we're not strumming on beat number 3. We're gonna add our muted strum on beat 2 and on beat 4 to that. So that will sound like this. And then a little faster. And then even faster than that. So those are the 4 strum patterns accenting beat number 2 and beat number 4 with a muted or dead strum. And now let's go in and change up the feel, because so far we've been accenting beat number 2 and beat number 4. But drummers don't always accent beat number 2 and beat number 4. Another really common one to accent is beat number 3. And so what we're gonna do with these last 5 strum patterns is we're gonna change it up and we're gonna accent beat number 3 instead of 2 and 4. So the first one is the simplest one. It's just quarter notes, where what we're doing is we're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then you do it a little bit faster. And then a little bit faster than that. Hey guys, really quick, again, if you could do me a favor and subscribe and like the video, hit the like button for me. That really helps me out. Thanks a lot. Now let's get back to the strum patterns. Now the second strum pattern where we're accenting beat number 3 is going to be just adding an upstroke on the end of 2. So we would normally just go 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2. But now we're going to do a muted strum or a dead strum on beat number 3. So that'll give us this. And then you do it a little faster. And then even faster than that. Now the third strum pattern, accenting beat number 3, is almost the same thing. We're just gonna add an upstroke on the end of 4. So we'll go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So that'll give you this. Now the fourth one for beat number 3 accents is going to be, we're going to take that last strum pattern and we're going to add an and of 3 upstroke. So that means we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then just add our muted strum on beat 3. So it'll go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And that will give us this. And the last one, our 9th strum pattern today, is accenting beat number 3, but we're just doing all 8th notes through the whole measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and we're just muting on beat number 3, and that will give you this. And then a little bit faster. And then even faster than that. Now those 9 strum patterns, accenting beat 2 and beat 4 and accenting beat number 3, are really going to help you develop a really cool feel that you can use when you're playing just by yourself on an acoustic. You can use it when you're playing a band. You can play it with electric guitars. But the coolest thing about this is how you can really control the feel of a song. So to show you that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the same chord progression, but I'm going to play it accenting beat 2 and beat 4 a couple times. And then I'm going to switch and I'm going to accent beat number 3 instead. And pay attention to how the feel of the song will totally shift just because I'm accenting totally different with my muted strum. So there's an example for you of how you can take accenting beat 2 and beat 4 with your muted strums and accenting beat 3 with your muted strums and totally change the feel of the song. I played the exact same chords. I played them for 2 measures each. I played the same strum pattern where I was just going eighth notes through everything. And I was playing the same tempo the whole time too. Now, when I accented beat 3, I got a little bit louder as if it was a chorus of a song, but for the most part, it was the same thing. So I hope that you could see and hear and feel how that makes that same chord progression sound totally different just because I'm using my muted strums in a different place. So if you want to get a PDF that has all 9 of the strum patterns that we went through today so that you can practice your muted strums, go to simpleguitar.com/muted strums. And there you can download that PDF. It has all 9 of these strum patterns on it and you can use it in your practice. Now, along with that, if you want some more stuff, if you've enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed learning about these muted strum patterns, then also while you're there, you can pick up the top 10 things to learn on guitar first, which is a free guide that I've put together. It's 17 pages full of the top 10 things I like to teach beginners to get them being more musical and playing more real music a lot faster on the guitar rather than stuff like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and whatnot. So you can also grab that at simpleguitar.com/muted strums, or you can go to simpleguitar.com/top10 directly and just download it right there as well. Either way, have fun with these muted strums. Have fun with the top 10 things to learn on guitar first. Thank you for subscribing and liking the video. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions about any of these, and I would love to get down there and help you out. But otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video.